Can we talk about how to think about implementing AI in your business, guys? Because this is causing a lot of consternation and anxiety to everybody out there. AI obviously is a revolutionary technology. People think it's going to change the world, which it will. People think it should change their business. But this may or may not be true. It is true if your business actually needs this technology. It is not true if your business does not need it right now. Okay, so let's get into this. First of all, before we get there, we need to talk about how not to implement AI in your business. And one way not to do it is to just brainstorm by yourself or with your team. Hey, where all can I implement AI in my business? Because AI is great. I want to do it. I want to implement it everywhere in my business. Where all can I do it? Right? Or worse, ask ChatGPT to list out, hey, this is the kind of business that we have. This is what we do currently. Where all can I implement AI in my business? And what is chat going to say? It's going to basically list out 100 different areas where you can implement AI. It's going to say you can do it in social media, cold outreach, landing pages. You can automate all the repetitive tasks, right? Finance, HR, accounting. You can automate all these things. You can do conversion rate optimization using AI. You can do a bunch of others. And people are doing this today. And they look at this and they go, oh my God, I can do all this with my business. And my business is going to change like crazy. And they're running around like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to implement AI in all these areas, right? And that is not the way to do it. That's not how you want to implement AI in your business, because most of this stuff is not really going to affect your business. Most of this stuff is not what your business needs today. Okay, so this is how you should think about implementing AI in your business. And first of all, AI, ChatGPT, is a general purpose technology. GPT, by the way, doesn't mean general purpose technology. That's not what it stands for. GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. It is funny, I was talking with ChatGPT the other day, and ChatGPT thinks, or it thought at that point, it hallucinated that GPT stands for General Purpose Technology, which is super funny that it thinks its name stands for something else, which I thought was really funny. So anyway, ChatGPT is a general purpose technology. How you think about how to implement this technology, it should be the same way how you think about every other technology, right? How you think about one thing is how you think about everything, right? That's a cool saying. I always wanted to say that. But anyway, the way you do it is not by thinking about, okay, there's this technology, where can I put this in my business, right? It's like having a hammer looking for a nail. That's not what you want to do. What you first want to do is analyze your business. And I'm going to lay out just really at a high level how to do this, right? Any business at a high level has these four components. You've got your positioning, you've got your marketing, your sales, your operations, right? Very, very high level. Those are the functions. And if you dig a little deeper, your operations may have different steps in it. Your operations may have, this is step one, operations one, step two, step three, step four, step five, step six, step seven, right? And in this entire process, some of the steps they fall along a critical path, basically, right? Which means that's how products flow. For example, in operations or in service, that's how product or your service actually flows through the system. And these other things that are on the side, these 05, 06, 07, are just supporting functions. They're on the side. For example, HR or finance or whatever, they're supporting functions. They're not actually along the critical path. Things that could be along the critical path for a manufacturing business is things that actually have to do with manufacturing, right? You're actually making the product. So you're maybe doing packaging is along the critical path, right? If you're actually doing some kind of fabrication, right? That's along the critical path. So that's the critical path. So you first have to lay out your critical path in your business. And then the way you do it, the way what you need to think about is, how can I increase the revenue of this business? How can I increase the throughput of this business, basically? And here's another thing that people do is to implement AI. They think about cost cutting. And by the way, this is mostly what everybody is doing. When they think about automation or AI, They're thinking about cost cutting. Hey, what can I automate in my business so I can reduce the cost, right? That's the wrong way to do it, because reducing cost is probably one of the lowest leverage things that you can do, because reducing costs is probably one of the least impactful things you can do in your business. What you need to think about is how to increase the throughput in your business, right? So anyway, so now after you've laid out the critical path, you need to think about, how can I increase the throughput of this business? And a lot of times, to increase the throughput, you actually don't have any constraints. You just need to do more. You don't need to change anything. You just need to maybe do more marketing, more sales, right? More outreach, maybe, whatever, right? So you just need to do more of it. Sometimes, though, you have a constraint. There is something in your process that actually does not have enough capacity. Let's say your sales team does not have enough capacity to do this, or your fabrication unit does not have enough capacity to meet the demand, right? So that's your constraint. So you need to figure out how to increase that capacity, right? Either you add additional capacity, or even before that, there are steps you can take to actually increase the capacity, right? So that's how you need to approach this. And in some cases, while you're doing this, AI may be something that will help you to increase this throughput, either to do more or either to remove that constraint, right? So that's where AI can help you. It's a tool that you will use if you require it. It's just like any other general purpose technology, like electricity or internet or computers, right? These are general purpose technologies. You can use it if you need it. If you do not need it, you don't have to use it. AI is the same thing. If you need it for your business at this point, you'll use it. Because let's say you take this other approach, right? And you're implementing AI to automate your accounting processes, to automate your HR process or finance processes, whatever. But those, they're not really going to do anything to you. You're spending all this time, all this effort, you're diverting your management team's attention towards doing all these other things, which really are not going to help your business. So that is not the way to go about it. You need to think about what your business currently needs and how to increase the performance of your business. And if AI is the answer to that, in some cases it will be, then implement it, then use it, right? But if not, don't worry about it. Just worry about your business. Don't You don't have to worry about implementing everything everybody else is implementing. Just do what your business needs and you'll be just fine.